Intention and Outcome by Nameless Saint. In life, we often encounter situations where we make decisions with the best of intentions, only for the outcome to turn out to be disastrous. In such cases, it is important to ask ourselves whether the person who made the decision is good or bad. This is a question that has puzzled philosophers, writers, and thinkers for centuries. While some argue that intentions are all that matter, others believe that the outcome is what defines a person. In this editorial, we will explore this question in depth and try to arrive at an answer. The first thing to consider when answering this question is the difference between intentions and outcomes. Intention refers to the motive or purpose behind a decision or action, while the outcome is the result of that decision or action. In some cases, a person may have good intentions but still end up with a negative outcome. For example, a doctor may prescribe medication to a patient with the intention of helping him, but the patient may have an allergic reaction to the medication and suffer harm as a result. One of the most famous quotes about good intentions and bad outcomes comes from the Scottish philosopher David Hume. He once said, "Reason is, and ought only to be the slave of the passions, and can never pretend to any other office than to serve and obey them." In other words, Hume believed that our intentions are driven by our passions, and reason is only there to help us achieve those passions. However, this quote also implies that our intentions may not always lead to good outcomes. Another famous writer who explored the concept of intentions and outcomes is the American author John Steinbeck. In his novel, East of Eden, Steinbeck writes, "All great and precious things are lonely." This quote speaks to the idea that doing the right thing can sometimes be a lonely road, and it may not always lead to positive outcomes. However, it is still important to strive for what is right and just, even if the outcome is not what we hoped for. One of the most well-known philosophers in history, Aristotle, believed that a person's character is defined by their actions. He believed that a person who consistently acts in a virtuous manner is a good person, regardless of the outcome of their actions. In his book, Nicomachean Ethics, Aristotle writes, "Virtue is a disposition to behave in the right way and as a mean between extremes of deficiency and excess, which are vices." This quote suggests that a person who consistently acts in a way that is balanced and virtuous is a good person, regardless of the outcome of their actions. However, there are those who argue that the outcome of an action is what defines a person's goodness or badness. In his book, The Ethics of Ambiguity, the French philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre argues that it is not enough to have good intentions. He writes, "The only way to deal with the future is to face it squarely, without evasion, to realize that no matter what you do, you will be in the wrong, that the wrongness will extend into the unforeseeable future." Sartre believed that a person's goodness or badness is defined by the outcome of their actions, regardless of their intentions. So, who is right? Is a person's goodness or badness defined by their intentions or the outcome of their actions? The answer is not clear-cut. While it is important to have good intentions, it is also important to recognize that intentions may not always lead to positive outcomes. At the same time, a person's character and consistency in acting in a virtuous manner may be a better indicator of their goodness or badness than the outcome of any single action. In conclusion, the question of whether a person is good or bad if their intentions were good, but the outcome of their actions was terrible, is a complex one. While there are different opinions on the matter, it is clear that both intentions and outcomes play. If you enjoy watching this video, kindly consider subscribing to my channel. New content is posted daily. Thank you, and may God bless you.